Welcome to Cedar Club, Quincy's favorite local bar. A friendly corner bar with a laid-back atmosphere and affordable drinks. It's the perfect spot for a great time. With entertainment galore, including shuffleboard, golden tee, pool, foosball, and winning gaming machines. Cedar Club's latest edition is the best spot to catch your favorite game. Great drinks, great friends, and great times. Cedar Club, 20th and Cedar in Quincy. Hey everybody, welcome to the Daily Muddy. I'm Ashley Conrad. Joining me today, Jacob Hollensteiner, new leader of the Quincy area Young Life, right?
Right.
Okay,
right,
welcome.
Yes. Thank you.
I'm super excited to talk to you about this because, as I said, I didn't realize how long it's been around, so we'll get to that in just a second.
Yes.
My extent of knowledge about Young Life is my niece was pretty involved in it,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
I knew that she had a good time.
Yeah.
I knew that she made a lot of friends. And I knew that it helped her grow her relationship with Christ. Is that pretty much it?
I mean, that's
it
on
in a
par.
nutshell?
That's on par.
Cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
Absolutely.
So congratulations on
Thank you.
the role as new leadership. I think
Yeah.
that's incredible. Can you give me a little background or maybe just kind of your why? Why did you decide Young Life is for you?
Yeah. So for me, anyways, I started my faith journey back in 2019. So I actually was only about 30 years old at the time when I kind of started my journey. Up until then, I really didn't have a faith. I didn't grow up going to church or anything like that.
Okay.
So really for me, it's kind of all new. So my journey started, like I said, back in 2019. And I don't know, my wife kind of put it on my heart. She was like, hey, as we kind of start a family, I kind of want to make what we do going to church a thing. And so reluctantly I was like, okay, yeah, sure. Happy wife, happy life.
Right.
I'll go.
Yes.
And so yeah, I remember our first church service that we go to, went to the crossing and we sit in the very back row. We're like, okay, yeah, I'm not going to be noticed. And yeah, it was just that first moment on, it was like, bam, just God got a hold of both of us. And from there, it was just a journey. Shortly after that, I got involved with a ministry called FCA, which is Fellowship of Christian Athletes.
Okay.
And so I'd always kind of done that on the side for about 5 years now. I did that on the side of whatever job I was working at the time. And God kind of revealed himself through that. I'm like, yeah, you're on it. This is kind of where I want you to go. And so actually, I built a friendship and a relationship with former director Curtis. Mm-hmm. And so when he departed, it was kind of like this big shock to the community, I think. Right. And so in only a way that God could, it was last August at a men's conference that I just randomly sat next to a guy whom I never met in my entire life. He ended up being on the board of Quincy Young Life, and this guy just started showing up in my life for like 4 or 5 months. And then right about the time Curtis left, he's like, hey man, I don't know what ministry looks like for you, but he's like, I got this position. I think you'd be a great fit. And so it was just, there's 1,200 men at this conference.
Yeah. Serendipitous, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, what are the odds?
Yeah.
I said by anyone else, I'm not in this position.
Sure.
So total God thing. It was just, in that specific age group, it's kind of been put on my heart. I've done ministry at the QHS Blue Devils, so with FCA, done that for, about 5 years, 4 or 5 years now.
Okay.
So that age group is just kind of, it's such a formidable time of people's lives. I mean,
so what is the age group, real quick, because I do want to get back to kind of the what of Young Life.
Absolutely.
And who, right?
Yep.
But the age group is very specific. It spans, right? Mm-hmm. There's a spectrum there, but what is the target age group for Young Life?
So we're looking specifically at junior high, high school, and college aged kids. But even within that, we do have a couple sub-ministries, if you will, which are targeted towards teen moms and then also kids with special needs or disabilities. So,
excellent. Yeah. And you're right, it is very formidable. So when you're talking about Young Life, let's get to the what. What and why. Why are you there? What do you do? And what does a typical, I don't know, is there a typical day for Young Life?
So it's, I like the way it's described, and I love this, the the way it's described. It's called almost like a para-church. So it's almost like an extension of the church. You think about church, people are coming to you. So we are actually going to them. So the phrase they use is we go to them. We go to their turf. So we're in schools. Our leaders, our volunteers, they're in schools. They're getting to know these people where, maybe some of these people haven't even stepped foot on a church ground. Maybe they don't even know Jesus. So we're all about pursuing the lost, if you will. People who don't have the opportunity to know Jesus, people who maybe don't even want to, maybe they don't like him, but our goal, our mission is really to, at the very least, introduce them to Jesus and let them make a decision for themselves.
Sure.
So there's an area-wide study that it's something around 75% of people will make a decision about their faith before graduating high school.
Yeah.
On whether or not I'm in or I'm out.
Right,
so
right.
if we can get in there and like I said, at least give them the opportunity, that's all we can ask.
Absolutely. And I know, when I was growing up, a lot of it was based in your family and kind of tradition. Mm-hmm. You were carrying that on. Now I feel like it's kind of shifted in that it's gotten, sorry if this is offensive, it's gotten more cool to be involved, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think that it is, especially in the younger kids, they are actually involved in activities with people that they go to church with, people that they are growing their relationship with God with. And it's different than when I was in school, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like it's shifted. And you guys are there to kind of help facilitate that, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so we take what I would describe as more of a subtle approach. So in that we're not going to come up to you. We're not going to throw Jesus in your face. We're gonna build a relationship with you. We're gonna connect with you, see who you are, what you're about, and almost earn the right to tell you about Jesus. But we're gonna do that by we'll sit down and play video games with you. We'll have shaving cream fights, and we're going to play games and just build that camaraderie first and foremost, so that you see, hey, we're just like you. We're not, we're not any different. And we're going to, at the end of the day, we're going to introduce Jesus to you, but we're going to do it in a more just genuine and authentic approach. Yeah. We're not going to just, condemn you and throw it down your throat.
Right. Show them that it can be fun.
Yeah, it is.
Right?
It is,
yes.
Yeah.
Fun and a community, right?
Yes.
I mean, you build kind of a family and a community there. And that's what was so beneficial for my niece. She still carries it on, even though she's at college now, which I think is really, really cool. Yeah. So you have a kind of a location in Quincy, right?
Yep.
There's a brick and mortar.
Yep.
Where is it?
521 State. So right on the corner of 6th and State. It's actually on the side of the Knapide building there. So Knapide, huge supporter of Young Life. So we got a huge space there, and it's just, like I said, it's kid friendly. It's ready to have some fun. So we just walk on in those doors and you'll experience a time.
That was going to be my question. So, I mean, outside of the age group that is the target of Young Life, what is the process for getting involved? How do you get involved?
Real simple. So we have dedicated days/nights. So Monday nights is going to be specifically for high schoolers. Okay. So Mondays at 7:13 p.m. We throw those random times in there. Open and all. Just come with your friends, come with your cousins, friends, family members, whomever. Okay. We're there for about an hour and a half, and like I said, we have a bunch of fun. We talk to you about Jesus. We have snacks and all kinds of stuff. Yeah. And then we're at the junior high on Wednesdays. It's Wildlife Wednesdays, so that's junior high. They're a little wild there. Sure. So we're at the junior high after school. I think that one's 2:47. I'm trying to memorize. I just started on Monday.
I don't know how you do that. So, I was going to say you're pretty good with these times. They're a little wonky, but.
And then we have Thursday nights, which is called it's a ministry called Capernaum, and that's for our disability, special needs, and that's from 5 to 7.
Okay.
So
if you've forgotten 7:13 or 2:47, right? If you forget the times, where do people go for more information about Young Life?
So we're on the socials, Young Life Quincy. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. Okay. We got a website. So all of that's there. And then just people are around.
Yeah.
This community has been a huge supporter of Young Life. So everywhere I've gone, I've had coffee dates and conversations, and oh yeah, so and so used to. I mean, people know.
Right.
And,
yeah.
And so it's kind of this like well-kept secret, but not really. I mean, word's getting out. It's building up again, and so it's fun. It's a lot of fun to be involved with.
And Young Life has been around for a long time. I mean, we were just talking that. I think Curtis may have put it on the map, at least for me and a lot of people that I know, right?
Oh, yeah.
And him leaving, he's a busy guy, so we know that was probably coming, and it's good that he found someone like
home.
you to step in and take over. You are born and raised in Quincy, is that right?
Yes.
And you have plans, I'm sure, to grow this. I mean, even though I didn't know about it before Curtis, I have no doubt that you're going to expand and kind of create this vortex of Young Life and cool communication about what's so great about it, right? So starting here, I think that's cool.
Absolutely.
What's any big plans to help grow, or what's your hope for the future, we'll say?
I mean, so kind of going back to Curtis too, I always tell people, Curtis did a formidable job here. Yeah. And the way I describe it is what Curtis allowed God to do through him was, I mean, insurmountable. It was amazing. Yeah. And so honestly, that's kind of my hope, not only from Curtis, but previous, board members, volunteers, staff, all that is just kind of build off of that. And what they've done, they've really kind of found their niche in just connecting with kids in whatever way that may be, So now, like you were saying, it's, kids are different, they may not be, super into sports. They may be more into video games nowadays. Who knows? But whatever that avenue is, we want to get in there with them, come alongside them, and connect with them, build that relationship so that we can basically empower them and encourage them in what they do. But most importantly, at the end of the day, it's a ministry. We want to point them to Jesus. So.
Yeah, meet them where they are and point them in that direction. I think it's very, very cool. I wish you nothing but the best of luck.
Thank you. Thank you.
Just speaking with you, I have no doubt you're going to do incredible things for these kids. If you need more information about Young Life, reach out on socials. Go check out the facility. Meet up with Jacob and the crew, and I have no doubt that it'll be great times, and you'll grow your relationship in probably more ways than one, right?
We're all about fun, and we're all about Jesus,
so
those are two great things to be a part of.
Perfect. Jacob, thank you so much. I appreciate you coming here. Look forward to seeing all the great things you do.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot. All right, coming up next, Paul Brown and I sit down to talk about the Villa Kathrine. Stay tuned.
I feel like nothing changes, and it is time for a change. There's been a discrepancy in transparency over the last couple of years especially, and the people deserve to know what is going on, where their tax dollars are going, what exactly they're being used for, and that too has been an issue. It shouldn't be a fight. It shouldn't be a question. This is how it is. You need to let us know what's going on. My name is April Azate, and I am running for City Council representing Ward 2 in Hannibal, Missouri.
Welcome out to Kelly's on Broadway tonight. We're drinking cold beer and it feels so right. I'll meet you out on Broadway underneath Shamrock Light. We're gonna have a good time on the patio tonight. There's a party down at Kelly's on Broadway tonight. We're drinking cold beer on a champagne night. We're feeling all alone and you got no place to go. So come down here and drink a beer on Kelly's patio. Kelly's a fun place to eat and drink. 2902 Broadway.
Are you looking for the perfect venue for your next special event? Check out Utopia Event Center. Utopia has a large banquet room and an awesome bar area, perfect for anything from birthday parties to formal corporate meetings. It also offers a photo booth, stage for a DJ or a live band, and a fully stocked bar, all for only $300. Check us out at utopiaeventcenter.com or call Barn at 217-430-6559 for more information. Utopia Event Center, 900 North 12th Street in Quincy.
The Tower, a great place to meet and eat. But did you know the Tower has one of the finest drink selections in our area? Along with its incredible Mexican menu, the Tower specializes in tequilas for every taste. Names like Patron, Cabo Wabo, and Hornitos. And don't forget the margaritas. On Mondays and Tuesdays, stop by and pick up a single topping pizza and get Tower margaritas to go. Enjoy the Tower at home or in our dining room, bar area, or the Tower's signature climate-controlled porch. The Tower Pizza and Mexican in Quincy.
The Liquor Booth is your home for a huge selection of beer, wine, and spirits. The Liquor Booth has 2 locations in Quincy, 3520 Broadway and 1500 North 12th Street. The Liquor Booth, where it's always happy hour.
Welcome to the Abbey, a Quincy tradition. With 6 big screens, a new larger kitchen, and now more seating capacity, the Abbey is the place to be before, during, and after the big game. Come enjoy fan favorite appetizers, steaks, burgers, and a variety of daily food and drink specials. Can't join us? Carryout is available too. Now with a convenient drive-up window to better serve you. 1736 Spring in Quincy. Opens at 3 p.m. Tuesday through Sunday. Come join all your friends at the Abbey, a Quincy tradition.
Instant Replay is your local sports bar. With 18 big screen TVs, we have all the sports packages from college games to pro games. We offer daily drink specials, and come check out the Bullpen, our newly renovated beer garden. Instant Replay, 2739 Chestnut in Quincy.
And welcome back. Joining me now, Mr. Paul Brown, here to chat a little bit about the Villa Kathrine. Welcome.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Yes, I am excited to talk to you as well, because I think we all know the Villa Kathrine, and affectionately, I call it the castle, as do most, right?
Right.
But it didn't. It's a home. It was someone's home.
Right.
Right.
It was originally built as a home, right?
And that's crazy to me that someone was like, you know what, I'm going to build this right on the bluff overlooking the beautiful Mississippi, but they did so in a way that was very just outstanding, incredible, right? And that was, what was his name? His last name
George
was
Metz.
Metz. George
Metz.
Metz.
Yep.
And this was how many years ago?
1900.
1900. See,
125 years ago.
that's outstanding, and it still stands today, and it's beautiful. Although it's not a home, it is now the visitor center, right? The official tourist and visitor center for Quincy.
Correct.
So tell me a little bit about, if you will, just the history of the Villa Kathrine, and then I'd like to talk a little bit about what it does today, what the purpose is today. Is that all right?
That sounds great.
All right,
yeah.
cool.
Great, thanks. Yeah, well, it's 125 years old this year, of course. And it's actually, I kind of describe it as kind of going through 4 lives over the years, over its 125 years. You mentioned the first one when George Metz built it as his home. He had a lot of money, so he could build whatever he wanted.
I'd say, yeah.
Yeah, and he modeled it after a villa that he had seen over in Morocco on one of his trips. And the interior shows different aspects of different buildings that he saw over there, from Alhambra and places like that he saw. I mean, it's all miniature versions of that. And it's quite different. I mean, it's unique, as they say.
Very unique.
And he was eccentric, and he wanted it to be unique because he wanted to kind of show off a little bit.
Absolutely.
And that's why I think he put it up on the bluff so everybody could see it.
It's a good spot for that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's a great spot for that.
So anyway, the problem was he was in his early 50s when he built it. So by 1912, he was in his 60s, and that was old in those days. And he never married, so he never had any kids to keep an eye on him. And so his nieces and nephews convinced him to sell it.
Really?
So, yeah.
And then how did we get involved? The city of Quincy?
He sold it. It's kind of this gets into life number 2.
Convoluted.
Yeah, it gets convoluted. He sold it to a young couple who he thought were going to live there, and so he sold all the contents with it. Well, as it turned out, they were just agents for the local railroad, and all they wanted was the land. They wanted to build a railroad yard up there. Why up there? We have no idea.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, or fortunately, maybe, the railroad had financial problems, and the place just sat there empty. Nothing ever was developed. The railroad eventually went into bankruptcy, and it just sat there. And then it finally got settled, and over the next few years, different people owned it. And some of them lived there, some of them subdivided it and used it, rented it out for apartments, and so forth.
Really?
And then after that, and they did some things to them they probably shouldn't to the building, like subdividing it and putting in stuff that kind of destroyed the integrity.
Doesn't really fit.
Yeah. Right. So anyway, so that got to phase, and that kind of went by the wayside, and the building kind of sat there for a while again. And then that got us into phase 3 when Mrs. Mormon from the Mormon Company gave a donation to the Quincy Park District to buy it, to set it up as a neighborhood community center for the kids in the neighborhood.
Oh, cool.
So that got us into phase 3, or life number 3.
Right.
And that worked for a while. And then again, it kind of fell into disrepair, and it kind of went by the wayside. So that got us down to 1978, and I'm getting close to the end here.
Yeah, no, I love it. Keep talking. Yeah, I think it's really interesting. I didn't know about any of this.
I give tours at the Ville, so I have to tell this to the visitors.
Yes. Yeah.
So anyway, 1978, something had to be done. Now it was a disaster. I mean, it was either had to be torn down or they had to fix it up or do something because it was rats in the basement and homeless people were living there. It was a disaster. And it was, it was isolated up there on the hill, so all kinds of stuff was probably going on that nobody knew about.
But probably doesn't want to know, right?
Yeah, right. So anyway, that's when a group of women, originally they were called the JCETs. I guess that's where the JCs and the JCETs were. Had two different organizations.
Oh.
I don't know. I wasn't involved with it. But anyway, they set up a not-for-profit group in 1978 called Friends of the Castle. And their purpose was, as it says in my little write-up here, excuse me,
No, you're right.
save the Villa Kathrine from demolition, restoring it to its original beauty, preserving, maintaining, and operating it as a community asset.
Love it.
That's a pretty lofty goal.
Yes.
So that gets us into life number 4, from 1978 until the present. And I think overall it shows how when a community gets together, a lot of organizations get involved and they cooperate. Not-for-profit, for-profit, government, all working together,
Right.
what they can accomplish.
Sure.
And it took us quite a few years. It took them about 20 years, from 1978 to 1998, to get enough money raised to restore the building back to the way it was. Or,
Really?
There's building codes, of course, so it couldn't
Sure.
be exactly,
Right.
but to get the building restored. And that involved money from the state, private donations, because we had to have a local match.
Right.
The city had to agree that one of the functions of the villa would be that it would be a tourist information center for the city, because like I said, there was some state money involved, which the mayor signed off on, and everybody was in support of.
I mean, it's a great spot for it.
Yeah.
Of course, it's eye-catching, right? It's beautiful. It has such rich history here in our community. So I think this is it's the perfect use for it, right?
Right.
So when you walk in, and like you said, you give tours. Now, how often are those given? You do it by appointment, is that right?
Well, no, you can just walk in anytime.
Really?
Yeah,
Anytime?
We're open. We're on our what we call our warm weather hours now, which is Monday through Saturday, 9 to 5, and 1 to 5 on Sunday afternoon.
Okay, so you can go in anytime and tour this beautiful, beautiful building. It's incredible. It's incredible to walk into. It's incredible to drive up to, right, to start. But then when you walk in, the details are very unique, Moroccan. You can tell where the inspiration comes from, and it's incredible to kind of take a look back in time and think about Mr. Metz when he was building this and bringing all these elements in, and thinking about that time and the aspects and the little unique, intricate pieces of this home that are now what we affectionately call the castle, right? It's just incredible to think about it being someone's home, the phases that it's gone through, and the fact that our community has rallied now around this, around our castle, to make sure that she stands beautifully for years and years to come. So other than tours, I know that you can go and get information. I know that people do field trips and stuff there, right? How do people get involved? Because I know there's a board, and I know that you're a volunteer,
right?
And I'm sure everyone's always looking for volunteers,
Absolutely.
right, to help.
Absolutely.
And then also you mentioned, private donations, because these things are not free, especially upkeep of a home or a castle that large. So always looking for, friendly donors who are willing to give, right?
I can tell you all about that. Yeah.
Yes. So you can give them information on how to go about getting involved, right?
Yeah. We're Friends of the Castle is all volunteers. We have no paid staff or anything, and so if you want to volunteer, and it's fun. I've been doing it for 30 years maybe. I'm not sure.
Really?
At least, maybe longer. It's fun because you never know who's going to come in, or where they're from. A lot of people. Well, anyway, we've had visitors from, of course, all 50 states. We've had visitors from over 100 countries. 102, I think, is the latest count.
Really?
From around the world. So
that's incredible.
it's one of the first things I do when I see somebody come in. I ask them where they're from.
Yes. Yeah, that's incredible.
And a lot of people who live here in town, when they have friends or relatives coming in, they bring them by to take a tour. You can take tours anytime you want, or if you have a group, you can call ahead and set up because we have people who know more about the villa than the regular volunteer hosts like me.
Well,
they give tours.
Yeah, I was going to say, I bet you could do a heck of a tour, but you want to make sure that you're giving people the, the
I'm
best of the
not
best.
making it up as I go along.
Yeah, You're just like, well, and I think this came from Morocco, but I don't know. No. So as far as getting involved in,
If they want to contribute.
yes.
Yeah, we have, well, you know, we have a membership drive going.
Okay.
Right now. We have one every year. We also have we set up an endowment fund in the community foundation back about in 2010, I think it was, somewhere along there. And, you know, you can always contact the community foundation if you want to contribute to that.
Okay.
Just give them, you know, you just call them. Their number is 222-1237, and
Okay.
they'll be glad to take a gift.
Yeah.
If you want to volunteer or if you want to make a contribution, simplest thing is just to call the Villa at 217-224-3682.
Yeah.
We did have a website. We're having a little trouble getting it back up. We're trying to upgrade it. So
Yeah.
but you can go to the Park District website. They've got some information. You can even go to Wikipedia. They've got a little write-up on it.
You just
know.
Google
Yeah,
Villa
just
Kathrine and
Google it,
Quincy.
yeah.
You can find lots
Oh,
of
yeah.
different ways.
Right.
Yeah, I found them through the Park District. I found some information through the Park District, which is always really helpful. But I recommend just going to visit. And I think a lot of people, especially in Quincy, yeah, you've been there, but have you really taken a tour?
No.
I don't know that a lot of people have.
Yeah, right.
I mean, we rally behind you know, the organizations that make the Villa Kathrine possible and continue to sustain and maintain the Villa Kathrine. But yeah, I recommend taking a tour. It is really, it's incredible, and it's good to know the history of that within our community and how it's gone through different phases in life. And
you can, you know, if you come in, you can just stay as long as you want. If you want to stay 5 minutes, that's fine. If you want to stay an hour,
yeah.
you know.
You don't have to go through a whole thing and take up half your day, but
Right, yeah.
even the views are breathtaking.
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah,
you don't even
absolutely.
have to go inside to have your breath
Right,
taken
yeah,
away.
Yeah,
It's
there's
amazing.
4 acres. The whole property is 4 acres. I don't know if I mentioned or not, but as part of the cooperative efforts I talked about earlier, the land and the building is actually owned by the Park District. I mentioned that Mrs. Moran gave money back in the 50s, so they still own it. But the Friends of the Castle, we have a long-term lease with. It's a 20-year lease. Every year or every 20 years, it's automatic.
Re-up it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And for $1 a year, which they never collect.
Yeah.
But anyway, because they love taking care of the grounds, and
Sure.
which we don't.
Yeah.
And we love taking care of the building, which they don't really care a lot about.
Perfect.
So it works out
Perfect cooperation. Yeah.
And the city, of course, shovels the snow on the parking lot, so
Yeah.
we got everybody involved. But anyway, I lost my train of thought.
No, you're good. So the
Where
Park
I'm going.
District owns it.
Yeah.
It is considered a park, but it's also a
Right.
landmark,
Right.
and a beautiful
Oh, yeah.
one at that, right? Is
Yeah,
that where you're going?
Yeah, that's where I was going to think. Yeah, we've got some honors I think we're all really proud of. First of all, the Villa is on the National Register of Historic Places. It's also on the Illinois State Register of Historic Places, which is even a smaller list than, of course, than the national. And then we also have local landmark status, you know, through the city. And then also the library, we have in the Library of Congress, we have under the Historic American Building Survey, we had a graduate, a professor from the University of Illinois brought his graduate students over, and they did a survey of all of the Villa. They measured every
Really?
square inch of the place, put it together into a report, and it's now in the Library of Congress.
Wow.
So,
See?
pretty impressive.
Learn something new every day.
That's right.
Yeah, that's very impressive.
And I was there to help him do it.
And you were there. See, I knew you were the guy to talk to. Yeah, I recommend reaching out. Definitely, if you want to get involved. Absolutely, if you want to donate, right?
Yeah.
Whether time or money.
Yeah, we'd
but
love to have volunteers.
Yeah.
We always do volunteers. And
Yeah.
like I said, it's fun.
it's fun,
Yeah.
worthwhile, and of course helps sustain, and maintain the Villa Kathrine here in Quincy. Go check it out. It's up on the bluff. You can't miss it, but
Yeah.
go inside, take a look around, and realize the significance that it has in our community, and talk
Can
to
I say
Paul.
one more
of
thing?
course.
I forgot.
Yes, of course.
I'm getting old and forgetful.
Nah, you're good.
Holly Kane and the Quincy Area Convention and Visitors Bureau has their offices up on the second floor, and they work closely with us. And
Yes.
they also provide a lot of literature, so we have plenty of literature about what's going on in Quincy. So if you're looking for something to do, or you got some friends coming out of town and they're looking for things to do,
Yeah.
we'd be glad to help them.
There's no shortage of that. There's no shortage of things to do in Quincy for sure. So start at the Villa Kathrine,
Right.
figure out your plan for the weekend, right? Whether you have people coming in or you just want something to do, and want to learn a little bit more about Quincy or what there is to offer here, right? Which is so much.
It's
There's
a lot.
So much.
It gets more all the time.
It does, yeah, just growing, which is incredible. So, if you want to get involved with the Villa Kathrine, please reach out. Go visit the Villa Kathrine. That would be, that's the most recommended thing to do. If you haven't seen it, you haven't toured it, go up, take some pictures. It's just really,
take as many
cool.
pictures as you want, inside or outside.
Yes, I love it. Paul, thank you so much. Thank you for coming in and chatting with me. I know that you were not the person who you kind of drew the short end, so I appreciate you coming in. It was so nice speaking with you, and I would love to talk more. If you guys ever have any events or anything you want to promote, you come in and talk to me anytime.
Okay,
thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks.
All right. I think that does it for today's Daily Muddy. We'll catch you back here tomorrow for Coffee Talk.